Hey guys, and welcome back to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to get a lot of money. Now, there's two ways you can do this. The one way requires you to have a turbo mode so that you can spam a key over and over and over so that you can let the game just do its thing and make millions of Pokedollars, right? So I've been doing this for about almost 3 hours. I have made 1.5 million. 1.5 million. 2 or 3 hours, I was literally having dinner, watching something on Netflix with my wife. I came back here and boom, it's made me money. I think it would make a lot of money if I let it do this overnight. So this comes down to the fact of farming the Ace Tournament. So the Ace Tournament is something that happens after you beat the Pokemon League and you become champion and you face the Ace Tournament, which is like this game's version of the Battle Tower, where you fight, I believe, 4 people. And each time you beat them, you get a set amount of money, and you can make a bunch of money this way. Now, some people out there have made videos on using Pokemon like Crocodile, but they've been using it without the Amulet Coin, which kind of means you get half the money. So the method we're using in this video makes double the money in the same time that you would with a Crocodile using the build that the person did with that one. There is also another Pokemon build going around where people are using Chi-Yu. Now, Chi-Yu is decent, it's okay, but it does have the potential to be blocked. There are certain Pokemon that if you are unlucky, will hit a wall and it will get stopped and you won't be able to turbo farm it while being AFK. Now, those Pokemon are not necessarily problems if you aren't using a turbo mode, but since we are using a turbo mode and we don't want to be actually playing the game, you don't want to be like there monitoring it to make sure everything's going right and you haven't died or something's gone wrong, because if something goes wrong, the method breaks and then you can't turbo farm it, while being AFK. So let's talk about the Pokemon that we're using here. So the Japanese have found one and they have been farming and doing this method already. Now this is with Sylveon. So Sylveon is incredible. Sylveon has a high HP, a very good special attack, a very good special defense. However, it's quite slow in terms of speed, but it makes up for it for what it's about to do to your enemies. It is able to counter and destroy every single Pokemon you will encounter in the Ace Tournament, and I can prove this because I've literally done this for 3 hours. It's faced every single type of opponent, and it has beat every single one of them. So before I show you how to build your Sylveon for this exact situation, let's go ahead and go into the school, because obviously you need to be inside the school for this to work. And we're going to go ahead and go to this dude over here. If you've done the Ace Tournament, obviously you'll know this will be here. And you're basically going to, from this point, spam A. Like once you have your Sylveon all prepped, as you can see towards the end of this video on how to do that with the exact stats and EVs and everything you need. It is a bit of work, but once you get it right, you essentially go in here and you spam A the entire time. If you don't have a turbo mode, you can spam A yourself while watching shows in the background and not really paying attention to the game. Right now, I'm going to spam A myself for showing you how quick this goes down and how much money you make during this entire thing, just doing it one time, just to show you how much money you make within the time spent, and then you can just do math to figure out how long it will take to repeat this process over and over. Alright, so I've just reviewed the footage. You do face 4 trainers in succession, and this took me about 12 minutes. From starting the tournament to the same points, talking to the guy at the same counter again, it takes 12 minutes to do this. Alright, so that's how long it took to do the Ace Tournament, and you can see here we made a bit of money from that. If I go ahead and I look at my bags here, you can actually do the actual math based from the beginning. I'll put the number on the screen right now as to how much money I made and how much time I spent making it. Now, you can imagine doing this AFK, how much money you would make by not even playing the game, or just by sleeping in real life. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Sylveon. How can you make Sylveon prepared for this battle? So it isn't super easy. There is one hard hurdle that you're going to need to do. And first off, we're going to check the summary here. We're going to look at Sylveon. Now, the hardest thing you need for this Sylveon is its hidden ability. You need the ability Pixelate, like this over here, which basically lets you use normal type moves, and when you use them, they become fairy type moves, and the power of those moves are boosted a little. Now we're using the move Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is a normal type move, but because of this hidden ability, it becomes a fairy type move and does more damage. Now, you do have Moonblast, which is already here, which lowers the target's special attack here. It does 95 power, accuracy of 100. This one is 90, but with that little boost that gets added from the hidden ability, you get a lot more benefit out of it. You can try Wing It with Moonblast if you want, but Hyper Voice is going to be the suggested move to use. So you might be asking, how do you get your hidden ability if that's not what you have? Unfortunately, you are going to have to farm 6 and 5, I think it's 6-star raids actually, that the special item drops from here. It will be in this little bag over here. It's not the ability capsule, it is the ability patch. You need an item called the ability patch, and you only get this from doing 6-star raids and winning them, of course. And yeah, so that's the only way to get them right now in the game. So you're gonna have to grind a bit. If you don't have that, you're going to have to try and take your chance with Moonblast. Now, while we're on the same screen here, you are going to need a modest nature. This is one over here, which basically increases your special attack stat, but decreases your physical attack stat, which doesn't matter because we're using special attack only. So make sure you go ahead and use the modest mint, which will make your special attack have the increase and your attack have the decrease, as you see here by the red and the blue up arrows and down arrows, which suggests that the special attack is increased. The next thing we're going to do is stop off at the Delibird presence. Now this is if you need bottle caps. If you have bottle caps, you already know where we're going. So the location of the store or the shop here is Delibird presence. There's one right over here. There's one right over here as well in the like school area, the Mesagosa. So go ahead and go into the store. From here, you're going to go to General Goods, and you'll see the very first item is a bottle cap. You need at least 6 of these, probably, depending on how many IVs of your Sylveon are already at its best capabilities. So I already have 12 because I get a bunch of them from Terra Raids, so I'm already sorted with. But even if I wasn't, they're only 20,000 a pop, and I have almost 2 million, so I could buy a lot. Okay, so once you got enough of those, let's go ahead and go to the hyper training point, which if I open the map and I go all the way to the north in the ice region here, the snow region, we're going to go to Montenevra, which is where the ghost gym is. And then right behind this Poke Center, this fast travel point, we're going to go to this dude with the Obama snow. I'm sure you guys already have done this before, but I'm just going to show you in case this is your first time doing so. So when you come here, you're going to hyper train a Pokemon. You're going to pick one. You're going to pick the Pokemon you want to hyper train, and it's going to show you its stats that are not maxed out. So if you look at my Sylveon here and you look at its IVs from the judge function, it already has best HP, best special attack, best speed. Its defense and special defense were not best, so I hyper trained those, which basically make them on the same par as a best one. The best ones are just the naturally occurring one because I caught the Sylveon in a 5-star raid, so it came with a guaranteed 4 best IVs. So go ahead and hyper train the ones that are not best already. You don't really have to focus on attack though, just special attack. Alright, the next thing is the most important and most difficult step is the EV training. The EV training is not going to be a regular 252, 252, 6 spread. If you don't know what I just said, then you're probably going to need to pay a lot of attention here. So if I go ahead here and I go look at my Sylveon check summary, we're going to go to our stats over here and we're going to press the L button to see the IVs. Now you can see here, this is the spread we're using. Essentially, we have 252 in special attack. You're going to fully EV train your special attack for 252 EVs. I'm going to show you what items to buy and how to do this exactly. If you already know how to EV train, you can try this with Pokemon, but you need to be as accurate as you possibly can. So I prefer buying the vitamins and the nutritious drinks to do this so that you don't mess it up. Because here's the exact spread you need. You need 252 special attack. So fully trained, EV trained special attack. You can see there's stars over there. Now for the speed, we're not going to go the entire way for speed. We're only going to do 180 EVs for speed. That means we are left with 78 EVs for defense. So that's the spread. 252 special attack, 180 speed, 78 defense. So while you're here by the ghost type gym after you did the hyper training, there is a store over here just across this side, just below this entrance over here. You can see where I am on the map. This is the Chansey supply store. It's like literally one of the only stores here. We're going to go in here and we're going to like to buy. And here we're going to be buying very specific items. These nutritious drinks here that increase your EVs by 10 for each one you use. So starting out with special attack, we're going to be taking the calcium one. Now since these increase your EVs by 10 and we need 252, it means you need to buy 26 of these. Now you can use the special attack feathers as well for the last 2. If you feel like that's a bit confusing, just buy 26 of these and use 26 of these on your Sylveon. Now for speed, it's going to be a whole lot more simple. We are going to use the Carbos one right over here. It's the final one in the list. We're going to be using 18 of them. So 18 of them, use exactly 18, no more, no less. You need enough speed to be faster than certain Pokemon, and you still need some of that extra defense to deal with and survive some attacks from some of those Pokemon in the Ace tournament. So buy only 18 and use only 18 of these. The last one you're going to use is iron, and you're going to need 78 EVs, which means you're going to need 8 of these. Or you can buy 7 and use 8 feathers of a defensive nature, but to make it simple, buy 8 of these iron ones and use 8 of them on your Sylveon. If you've done this correctly, you should be able to go to your stats and see this for your EV train things, so be very sure that you got that, because otherwise you might end up losing during the Ace tournament, and if you lose, it means you have to press another key besides A. So if you are doing turbocharged or turbo farming, it means the whole system's going to break and it's going to do nothing for the whole time you leave it there. But anyway, let's move on to the next step here, which we already talked about, is the Hyper Voice move. Now this one, you're going to have to use a TM to learn Hyper Voice. So go to the Use TMs to Learn moves, and you're going to pick out Hyper Voice from here. If you don't have it, you are going to need to craft it from the TM machine. The TM machine is the green one that you find at the Poke Centers over here. And I want a TM made, and you can go ahead and go to the normal type moves right at the top here, and we look for Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is 117. You can see all the ingredients to craft it over there. Not too hard. I could probably craft it a few times myself. And you're going to craft this, and you're going to put it on as the first move for Sylveon in your party. Now, if you don't already have the Amulet Coin, which is an item that Sylveon needs to hold to earn double the amount of money that they would normally earn, you're going to need to go to Medali, the normal type gym area. More specifically, this Poke Center that is on the right side, which is by the restaurant. So right over here, this Poke Center with the guy standing outside. Now he is going to give you the Amulet Coin when you battle a certain amount of trainers around this region. So if you haven't done that already, go find some trainers in this region, battle them, and collect the Amulet Coin. Once you have the Amulet Coin, you can equip it onto the Sylveon over here. And the Amulet Coin, as you can see here, the held item is one that's going to double any prize money received as long as this Pokemon is used in the battle at least once, which is going to be the only Pokemon we use in our entire party, because we're not going to have any other Pokemon in our party, because if you have any other Pokemon in your party, the system's not going to work. It's going to require you to press more than the button A. So now we're going to head back to the school, and we're going to go to the Ace tournament, and I'm going to show you how to get set up. So we're going to head into the school building, and as I showed you at the beginning of the video, we're going to go to this dude over here. So like I said, before you start here, you can stand at this point, and you can already activate the turbo for pressing A, and you're going to spam A over and over and over and over again, or you can have the turbo mode do it for you. Now in your party, you must only have Sylveon. There must not be another Pokemon, because otherwise it's going to ask you to switch out your Pokemon every single time the opponent decides to switch their Pokemon, which is going to happen when you defeat them. So if it does that, you're going to end up with a whole circle that's going to go in the wrong way. So only have Sylveon in your party, and essentially just spam A. That is exactly how you do it, and that is how you're going to make a bunch of money. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.